have at least 4, maybe 5 recognitions.
Okay, so we'll start with the recognitions first, and then we'll get to the business at hand.
Okay.
Food always a backdrop for goodwill.
Looks pretty good. Sure.
Yep, that would be.
Up to you. I've already apologized to all of our guests for the kind of the clumsiness of what used to be a pretty smooth operation. Come on in, Jose.
Sarah, let me sit in a literal lady.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, she can sit right
Right
here.
here.
Actually, here would be fine.
Right here.
Yep. You're welcome.
Remember, no crimes.
Mark
Jose
is now joining.
And you know, we were having a nice conversation up there, but I was on this side, and I didn't notice what was on the other side of her face mask. That is just painful, man.
That's all right.
We've been married.
It's all right. A long time. I can't compromise. I'm an open age man. I'm tough. Yes.
For those of you that can't see, she has a beautiful NY New York Yankee logo.
Look at the Jan. She had here. Jeter.
Jeter?
Oh.
Who is he?
Must be a clown. Must be a clown for some kind of a circus.
Yeah.
She come to see a few years ago.
All right, let's get this show back on the road.
Please do.
Please. This is Jose George. Jose drives in Troy. Interesting story. So Jose drove for RTS in Rochester.
That's correct.
For 25 years. So if you add the 25 to the 20, this is a 45-year guy. And I talked to Bill Carpenter this morning, who's the CEO in Rochester, and I asked if we could sort of combine the service, and he said, yeah, sure, absolutely. Just make sure you don't give any of my pension money away. So that's between you and RTS. But Jose came to Albany to help at his brother's restaurant in Albany at Howard and Eagle Street. So figure that out, Mike Cushon. We know that area pretty well. And one day, Jose saw a Starbus dropping a customer off at a CVS, and he ran out to meet the operator. They're all brothers and sisters in the profession. And the operator said, if you want a job, go over to 110 Wildwood Avenue. They're accepting applications. Pretty simple. He did that, and the rest is kind of history. I know this might sound like a broken record, but the 20, 30-year people all have the same characteristic. He started out in Star. Working part-time, and then moved from there to I may have this out of order, but Trolley, Route 50, Saratoga, and then kind of meandered over to Fixed Route where he really was most experienced. Jose works the extra list, so this is always a little bit of a lesson on transit lingo. You know, what is the extra list? Well, he's there every day waiting for an assignment. Sometimes that assignment is because of a vacation. Sometimes it's an assignment that someone didn't come to work. Sometimes it's actually a scheduled assignment. But what that does is allows Jose to sort of travel the world, you know, the CDTA world. No day is exactly the same. And some people really like it. I know he does, because he's a people guy. He gets to see different people. He's very outward oriented. He's one of the guys who I knew a barrier would not be good for, but he's working around the barrier. Got a couple of things there I thought you'd find interesting. You know, a little bit of kindness is Jose's sort of outlook on everything, and everybody gets a good morning. Everybody gets a hell of a that's a little bit of a dying art, but thanks to Jose, it lives. In his spare time, he still participates in the Capital District Baseball League and the Senior Softball League. He says to stay in shape, to stay healthy, and to stay flexible. I think it's really because he needs to keep up with his 7 kids, his 17 grandchildren, and his 2 great-grandchildren. That might be a record. That might be a record with these awards. Good for you. No plans for retirement yet. He knows that we would all miss it. He's right. Jose said he'll continue to come to work as long as God gives him the ability to come to work. That's a heck of a refreshing attitude. It's a joy for him to get up every day and come to CDTA. I say the same thing most days. Some days it's not a joy. But 45 years of transit experience, all upstate New York. Jose, you've done a great job here. We're so thankful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Photo?
Yep.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Zach, because I was next year.
Lord have mercy. I got to one of my grandkids.
I had to throw that in there.
Come on.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's the great stories. How are you? See you. This is Jamie Lott. Yeah, I just want to check your face mask, make sure it's not a Yankee face mask. Good, all good here. This is Keith Singh, another 20-year employee, Albany bus operator. So I'm going to tell you a great story. It started in Punjab, India, where he worked as a farmer on his family's land. He immigrated to the United States and began gaining work experience. For many years, he drew, and these are the stories that sometimes get lost in our crazy media times. For many years, he drove a yellow cab in limousines in New York City. He's worked in restaurants, he's worked on cargo ships, he's worked in construction, he even took a shot at owning his own retail store for a few years. But he eventually landed with CDTA in Star part-time, then full-time for almost 15 years. He now works Route 12 Washington Avenue and Route 13 New Scotland Avenue. Busy, busy, up and down, every 10 minutes, lots of people, even during the pandemic, lots of people. Throughout his time at CDT, he's worked on just about every route in the system, but he's kind of settled into those 2 routes. Loves people, loves to drive. Common denominator for a successful bus operator. I always tell the new classes, we can teach you to drive, but we can't teach you to be a customer service rep. That's really hard. If you don't like people, it's tough. He likes, and as you can tell from his work record, he has stuck with us for years because of the stability that CDTA provides to its employees in terms of consistent work and a competitive benefits package. He appreciates being recognized for his work with all the different things that we have. These are his words, so I'm going to give him the employee awards, banquets, service awards, heavy attendance bonus, Mr. Collins. He appreciates the morale boost and the good times with coworkers. His spare times, he likes to watch sports, exercises, and in addition to spending time with his kids. This says in the number so you're going to reevaluate timeline for retirement. You enjoy it? Oh, sure. I thought I had you talking about 4 years. But he enjoys what he does, and whatever that is, will be 100% supported. Congratulations, we need more people like you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
It's a heck of a record. schedule it? Oh, no, she's here. Kim's here? Yeah, I door number 3.
Oh, thank you. See you.
Wow. Where'd you go? Oh.
Hey, Brian.
You don't, right, you don't get it.
Right.
How are you? I'm good to see you.
Dennis, yes,
How are you?
yes.
I'm checking you out. Hi, how are you? Did you notice? Come on. No. Kimberly Hope, 20 years of service. Came to CDK after being a school bus driver. It says 7 years. Made it that long. Yeah. Driving crazy. As well as assistant. She had an uncle who worked here at CDPA. Who might that be? I know Tommy very well. And he suggested that she apply for a job here. She started in Star and then started driving on the Route 87 for about 6 months and said, heck with this. Back to Star. She's been at Star for a long time. Full-time operator. Brian Green is here and he can attest to Kim's work record. She has a genuine love for driving, a genuine love for people and interacting with customers. And I think that's what makes this work. She has had many interesting conversations with other customers. And it makes her feel good about the job she does. She loves her work and interacting with people. She likes her coworkers. She even likes her boss, right? Yeah, he's kind of bad guy. In her spare time, she loves to study history, spend time with her family, and travel. I always ask, retirement's a few years off, so you can't lose people like you're the box. People like you make us go. So luckily, retirement is 2 years off, not even thinking about it. 20 years of service, Kimberly, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Getting this down pat.
Not too long.
No. Next up, I think, is Roger Thompson.
Yeah.
Roger, come on in. See you.
Nice to see you.
Can we live?
Good.
Yeah. So I gotta give a little props to Gary Guy because I gave the prop to Brian Reed. So we went upstairs and Gary was so good. I know how it goes. No, actually, I didn't get in.
Okay.
I didn't get in. This is Roger Thompson, 20 years of service, Albany bus operator. This is an interesting story. So Roger was a frequent CDTA customer before he joined us as a bus operator. He took the bus to and from an office job every day and said to himself, what better way to get out of the office than to get on the road? He started in Star, drove in Star for about 18 months, then transferred to fixtured service in Troy, driving on Route 80, Troy Albia, for those of you that understand where that goes up the hill. Jamie LaHack was I think he read one of your he was on the Albia, I think. He's one of those people that we gotta watch.
Get around.
Yeah, he got around. He had Route 85 Twin Waterford, which is now a vital local service that feeds our new bus rapid transit company. But now he's here in Albany and drives the Route 11 Albany shuttle, which is not as busy. It's been as it used to be. You can imagine it. Effective, I guess, immediately. They're gone. Yeah, they're remote learning, so obviously a lot of things are changing. But yeah, well, that's the story of life, right? For all the time. But Roger notes over the years that the advancement in technology, especially on buses, has been one of the biggest changes he's seen. A lot of us have noticed that, thanks to the Lancer maintenance department, keep pace, keep the operational flow going. But basically, I just said, it's made the customer experience and the bus operator experience a heck of a lot easier in a lot of ways. When asked why he has stayed at CDJ so long, he remembers back to the days when he rode back and forth for an office job. And he didn't want to keep job hopping until he found something better. He decided that when he applied to CDJ, it would be a lifelong career. Employee benefits, work-life balance made that decision to go to CDJ. In his spare time, he likes to watch basketball and football. He also likes to fish. Once the travel bans are lifted, he'd love to travel back to his family. Roger notes that working here has been a good experience. He's gotten to meet a lot of people around the city of Albany and Troy and the Capital Region while doing something that he genuinely enjoys. And that's right. Roger, we enjoy having you, and thank you for 20 years.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Roger.
Congratulations.
Let's hear it. Or maybe Jim will come back in, right? Mr. Young.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mansback.
Oh, yeah, we gotta get a little proper today, I don't want him to feel left out, because I said, great job, Mike. Great job. Oh.
Told me to marry.
Wait a minute. Jose explains where is it, and now I get the real story. They told me. All good, I was gonna say, what a great job you're doing in Troy. I didn't take that. This is Jefferson. 20-year bus operator, bus holder to train, correct? Bus hold, he's been. Jefferson came to CDJ as working as an operator for at Memorial Hospital. At the same time, several of his family members working at CDJ and let him know that we were hiring at the time. As we have mentioned over and over and over again, these 20 and 30-year employees, he started out in Star, quickly transferred to Saratoga. After 7 years in Schenectady, moved, came back to Albany, but then ended up in Troy. But here's some more transit terms. Jefferson works at 2 time. So he is on the Route 85 Troy Waterford, talked about that route, and Route 22, which is Albany. Troy basically is all of those routes are BOT territory. But a 2-timer means that he comes to work in the morning, has a great midday, and goes back out and drives his afternoon into the late evening. So it's an interesting work environment. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's no in between. You have about people who don't a little longer hate it. The way we do assignments and work picks, it's available to those who want it. That's a 2-timer. Jefferson's favorite part of the job is his coworkers. There's some beautiful people in Troy, right? We'll leave it at that. They make it enjoyable to come to work every day. You can't laugh in the Troy division here with the big long spot. But they do have great camaraderie. He says that he looks forward to the group that they're taking plus. In the Troy division, they not only have a lot of fun, they're very good. They have given the Albany Police and Fire Department runs for their money the buses. One of the biggest reasons Jefferson stayed with us for 20 years is because we offer the ability to have a work-life balance. For him, for example, working 2 times gives him the ability to do some things in the middle of the day that other people might not have at their job. Another reason, Another reason are the great supervisors that he works with. Every day enjoyable. Now, might one be Mr. Burns? Yes. Might another one be Mr. Burns? And might another one be Mr. Burns? Yeah, that's a true one. With 20 years under his belt, he now gets to tell all of the new people spare time, he likes to hang out with his grandkids. He's a poet, coach basketball. He and his wife love to travel. That's Canada, Germany, Italy, Jamaica, several countries. And next time I come, no. No plans to retire anytime soon. He does. He wants to plant a tree and watch it. I want to watch grass grow and not have to worry about how. But then also he'll have work himself. Jefferson's a great guy. Congratulations. Good job, ladies.
Thanks, everyone.
Make sure you guys buy lunch for the supervisors, okay?
Thanks, man. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah.
So I try to read these answers. Somehow that choice supervisor thing, and certainly the local kids. All the fun. Great.
Okay. Did we connect with Mark Schaefer? Mark, with us?
Yes, he's here.
Great. And we have a quorum for the meeting today. I'll start with a motion to approve the agenda as it's been distributed to everyone. Can I get that? So, second?
Second.
Thank you. That's approved. The agenda is approved for the meeting. We'll move on to the minutes of the October 28, 2020 meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approve the minutes. Thank you. We'll move on to committee reports. On the Board Operations Committee, we did not have a meeting in November, so we'll move on to Denise to provide the report for the Performance Monitoring Audit Committee.
All right, thank you. The Performance and Monitoring Audit Committee met on November 12th. Let me turn down my thing. I'm getting feedback here. Okay, we had only one consent agenda item, and that's approval of a contract for advocacy services. Our contract for advocacy services expires in December, and Park Strategies is the incumbent provider. Lisa Morello is the lead in this work, and she has been with us for 5 years now and has done an excellent job positioning CDTA with state government. We issued a request for proposals and received 4 proposals. Based on proposal reviews, consideration of work required, and the work of the incumbent, staff recommends we contract with Park Strategies. So we need a motion for a 3-year contract to be awarded with 2 optional 1-year renewals to Park Strategies of Albany, New York, for an amount not to exceed $84,804 a year.
Can I get a motion on Resolution 44? So moved. Thank you, Mike. A second? Going once?
I'll second.
Going
Sorry.
twice.
Second.
Second. I think we talked at the committee meeting about the continuity was very important with her knowledge of not only the company but also the industry and her connections with the state. Are there any comments or questions about this resolution? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
It's approved. Thank you. Continue, Denise.
Okay, there was no audit committee meeting this month, no report for the audit committee or the investment committee. Investment committee will meet in December. Administrative discussion items. We had a report from Mike Collins with the monthly management report, financial management report. Due to a short reporting period, we used estimates for some of the categories. Although MRT was estimated, based on recent performance, we expect another strong month. Customer revenue is down about 50% since we resumed fare collection. Rail station revenue is down 75%, mostly because of little parking revenue at the station. And the total revenue is 32% above budget for the year. But that's in large part due to the COVID-19 funds that came in. On the expense side, wages are 5% under budget for the year. We had a couple of large loss of use awards for workers' comp this month that impacted the budget this time, the budget line. That's 11% over budget for the year. Liability claims had an uptick in settlements this month, but it remains slightly under budget for the year. And total expenses are down 8% for the year. So the financial picture is good because of the CARES Act and partial payments from STOA, State Operating Assistance. Although the revenue is tightening, we expect to end the fiscal year within budget. Any questions on the financial report?
No.
Okay, if none, I'll move on. We also received a report from Chris Desney on the monthly non-financial performance report. Total ridership is down 38%, as we've already mentioned, for the month, and 35% for the year. Star boardings are down 48% for the year. Our fixed route on-time performance was 74%. Star on-time performance was at 84%. There were 16 preventable accidents and 21 non-preventable accidents this month, well within our normal expectations. Any questions on the non-financial report? If none, that concludes my report. The committee is scheduled to meet on December 16th.
Thank you, Denise.
On Teams. Thank you.
We'll move on to the Community and Stakeholder Relations Committee meeting last week. Pat Lance will make that report.
Hi, everyone. This committee met on November 12th, 2020, and the staff provided a presentation on the monthly media and communication activities. Jamie Watson summarized the monthly media community engagement report. There were 28 media stories on television, newspaper, and radio this month. Highlights included the anticipated launch of the new River Corridor BRT service, as well as success surrounding the Real Men Wear Pink CDTA bus pull. CDTA was honored to once again contribute to the top fundraising campaign in the nation. There was also a unique opportunity when we partnered with the Schenectady County Board of Elections to get early voters to the polls. Jamie recapped plans for the River Corridor BRT rollout and media event, which the public can follow on our Facebook page as we go live on November 19, 2020 at 10 a.m. We also participated in the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women virtual event on November 10th and 12th. The event is designed to increase women's heart health awareness and to help improve the lives of women globally. AHA is a new partnership for us, and we will continue working with them in the future. Jamie also elaborated on the plan to unveil our strategic plan to employees, customers, and to our stakeholders. This effort will be tailored to the different groups so that they understand the importance of our strategic pillars and the roadmap that the plan sets for CDTA. That's it for this report. The next meeting of this committee will be held on Thursday, December 17th, 2020 at 11:30 a.m. via Microsoft Teams and at 110 Watervliet Avenue.
Thank you, Pat. Anybody have any questions for Pat? Want to pepper him with a couple questions for the meeting? No? Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you again, Pat.
Anytime.
We'll move on to the next committee report by Mike Rochon for strategic and operational plan.
Thanks, Jamie. The committee met last Thursday, November 12th, here at 110 Waterville Ave and via Microsoft Teams. We have one consent agenda item today, and that's the approval of Title VI program. The Title VI statute is a FTA regulation, and to ensure equity when transit systems make major service and operational decisions, as a federal funding recipient, CDTA must comply with Title VI regulations. CDTA works to ensure that all decisions made under the umbrella of Title VI put our customers on a level playing field and do not unfairly favor or disfavor one demographic over another. The requirement to comply with Title VI has existed for many years, and we fully support its goals and objectives. We performed an extensive analysis based on FTA regulations to develop our final plan. The policy was provided separately last week for all board members. In summary, the policy contains general requirements, service monitoring standards, and an analysis of our adherence to them, the definition of a major service change, disparate impact, and disproportionate burden, a public participation plan, a limited English proficiency language assessment plan. At this time, we need a motion to approve the 2020-2023 Title VI program.
Can I get a motion on resolution 45-2020?
So moved.
Thank you, George.
Second.
Thank you, Mark, for the second. Any discussion or comments about the report done every 3 years? Talked about it briefly in several committee meetings.
I just think it's good and relevant that we update these and take the time to go through them, when needed. Just noted one item in the LEP needs assessment, that the mission statement needs to be updated. Well done.
Thank you, Georgie.
Yep.
Any other comments?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstentions? Resolution is approved. Thank you, Mike.
Yes. There were no administrative discussion items, and the committee will meet on Thursday, December 17th, 12 p.m. here at 110 Waterville Ave and via Microsoft Teams. And that concludes my report, unless there's any other questions or concerns.
Report. I guess we'll move on to Karen, CEO's report.
I'm glad we had 5 employee recognitions to get us to 35 minutes. My report's in your packet. A couple of highlights. It never gets old, but we talked about the work of 5 senior people a few minutes ago, but it's really the entire CDTA team that is constantly adjusting what we do and how we do it. Just like every business, things change, it seems, daily, and we're changing with it, and lots of disruption, lots of uncertainty, but the resolve, I think, of all of our workforce is allowing us to do the things that we've talked about here for the last several minutes. Bus rapid transit lines, new strategic plan, extensions to the campus, across the street. It's actually looking like a parking lot now. Bike share records get broken week after week, and on and on. Really, though, the resolve of our employees is what I think keeps everything moving. And speaking of that, the one thing I think it's taught us is that you can do all this stuff if you're building off of a solid financial base. If your financial situation is not good, it's very difficult to be nimble. It's very difficult to be quick. It's very difficult to change. So luckily, the board, the staff, Phil and Mike especially, they pay close attention to this stuff. But, we have a base that we can move from. And that I think is what, at least for me, allows me to sleep relatively comfortably at night. We talked about contract award to Lisa Morello. Lisa's really, kind of a behind-the-scenes player. I mean, you see her here monthly or every other month, but every day she's talking to someone, emailing someone, texting someone about some matter concerning transit funding or CDTA. And on that note, she and I have been meeting with elected officials. We do it right about now, pre-budget. It's not really pre-budget. The state is well into budget planning as we speak. But we talk about what we're doing. We talk about our financial situation, and we talk about what a state spending plan might look like. Right now there are a lot of question marks, and people are not willing to commit to anything. And frankly, I understand that. I think we all understand that. But we're out there telling our story, and rest assured that Lisa's on the job every day. But in almost all those meetings, everybody wants to know about bus rapid transit. What's this all about? What's it look like? Wow. If you're talking to someone who's from the other side of the river, even though we talk about this line crosses the river a couple of times, it seems to have captured the imagination of people in Rensselaer County. And we're really excited about it. It's 16 miles long. Chris and I were talking that it might be pretty close to our longest route. It traverses 3 counties and about 8 different communities, government entities. Pat Lance, as a resident of Lansingburg/Spiegeltown, has mentioned a number of times, the impact that it's having, in North Troy. Blue and silver is sort of the colors of the day now in those communities. At the end, it's eye-catching, it's exciting. At the end of the day, customers are getting better service. We're still working the bugs out of schedules and aligning things and moving things. We've got a whole team of people that are professional tweakers. And some of them are never happy, and that's great. We're always tweaking it. But it's more than just the blue line. It's 85, 80, all these 22, all these routes that have to line up to make this service work. But so far, so good as we head towards 40 miles of BRT service. I remember when we initially talked about this, about 10 years ago, that we would have 40 miles of BRT service. I don't know if any of us really believed it, but we're 2/3 way there. And the Washington Western Service funded and in active plan. Later. We talked quickly about CDPHP cycle, but talk about a success story. Last week, there were 36,000 bike rides in 21 weeks. For reference point, last year's total was 41 rides in 30 weeks. And the 30 weeks were a full complement of bikes. Of the 21 weeks, I'd say half of those were as we built up to a full complement. So great job by Vince Garney and John Scherzer and the whole team. But we found something that works. And now I think the question is, how do we build off of that, make mobility, more mobility solutions part of our repertoire? The report on ridership is not what we want to say. Obviously, we're at about 60% of where we were pre-COVID. We're optimistic that we'll bounce back post-COVID, whatever post-COVID is. But it's gonna take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of thought, and it is likely that in the coming months we may dip service back a little and then bring it back. But we have to adjust to the economic realities of whatever our budget situation. So right now, our planning staff is looking at different scenarios. What if we're here? What if we're there? What if we're somewhere in between? And we'll have that after the holidays for the board to consider and to talk about. But I do think that when customers return, they will see a different system as far as cleanliness and disinfecting. We've talked about this, but I hesitate to say what it is, is it hospital grade, is it operating room grade? We know we're good, and we're pushing up against those standards. So when buses leave here, we know we have done everything possible to keep our customers safe and our employees safe. Regarding COVID, we've developed a whole infrastructure to support COVID, whether it be testing procedures, protocol, but a day now starts with, at least for me and everybody else, when you walk in, you're going to a kiosk, you're having your temperature taken. There's a record of that. There's an alert if something is askew. We have a health center now that employees can go to if they're not feeling well.
Mark Schaefer is now exiting.
We have all different systems in HR to monitor employee wellness, to monitor those people who are quarantined. Right now we have four people on precautionary quarantine. We had two, as of yesterday, there were 2 positives, 1 dropped off, and 1 positive. So there's a whole infrastructure that we have to develop to monitor all that. Kelly Shabogel in HR is leading that, doing a great job with her team. So great job by everybody there. We joke about the parking facility across the way, but it's moving along. Not sure if it'll be ready when the first snow hits, but it certainly won't be from a lack of effort. But great job in getting that, with some of its issues resolved, getting that to where it is today. Jackie Valtico's committee talked about all the great events that we somehow have managed through the pandemic. It would have been easy to curl up, walk away, and cancel everything. But our staff, a small group that works with Jamie Watson, she leads the charge. She's got some loyal people who with her.
Mark Schaefer reconnecting.
Every step
Is now joining.
To make sure that these events happen. For instance, tomorrow we're having a formal event to cut the ribbon, so to speak, on the blue ribbon, on the blue line. The blue line. That event has changed 10 times. What it will look like, who's coming, who will speak, how do we keep everybody safe. But tomorrow morning in Troy at the Busina apartment complex with our great partners from Rosenblum Associates, we will kick it off. Little note on the United Way giving campaign. As usual, our employees continue to give. We supported the United Way for 50 years, and this year is no different. The campaign is underway, and early returns are just fantastic. And we talk about all these new services and new initiatives. We have just been on a constant hiring kick for about the last 8 months. I welcomed 18 new bus operators into training on Monday. COVID has impacted that too. There's only one room in the company that can accommodate those people safely. It's down in our technical training center. And then when they moved up the hill to 85 Waterloo Avenue training, they're split. So it's actually 2 classes of 9 each, trying to keep everybody safe. When I say it's a full-time job, it just really is. Every time you think you've thought of everything, you realize you haven't. Every time you think you've seen everything that COVID has to spin at you, you realize that you haven't. So as we approach Thanksgiving, I'm just thankful that we've been able to moving forward, albeit with a couple of detours along the way. But we have a lot to be thankful for. Great company, great employees, great board, and just great effort every single day. So I hope everybody has a great holiday. But I think you take the advice with a little bit of common sense and get to the people in better shape than we are now. But that's, in a nutshell, that's what's going on here for the last few weeks.
Thank you, Connor. Very good report. Good to hear about United Way, and certainly excited about the Blue Line event tomorrow. Back to open operating. Change for.
Jamie's got all kinds of special things planned. goodie bags, videos, we got a couple surprise people on video, who wanted to be here. Covered all angles.
I was that line when I was going to basketball games at Catholic Central, you know?
You let you in Catholic
I was
Central?
Troy High, but
That's what I did.
never knew what was gonna happen.
Was Pat out patrol at Catholic High? I mean.
I was a little after him, I think, not to.
Thank you for that, Pat.
Nice knowing you.
Anybody have any comments or remarks, questions for Carm?
Yeah, I have a couple of comments and questions.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, bottom of page 21 on bicycling safe. Everyone agrees bicycling is a safe and efficient way to travel. Bicycling is safe if people A, wear helmets, and B, there are protected bike lanes. And with helmets but no bike lanes, it's about as dangerous as automobile travel. Maybe a little more dangerous, but automobile travel is not really safe. It kills something like 30,000 people a year in this country. Second, on top paragraph on page 22, second line, ridership is on the decline. I would say it's down. I don't know if it's declining month to month. We're staying at a low level. So that's a question. And then I have a couple more comments.
Well, you know, it's been on, it's leveled off, but it's been on the decline since August 19th. The day we turned the fare boxes on, it has declined. I look for hope, and I'm a hope and optimistic guy. But for example, this week, I can tell you that it's not been a good week so far. You know, ridership's a little.
Yeah, I know COVID is worse.
I don't like using the word
significantly worse in the last few weeks. And it's actually up by a factor of about 7 since mid-December in terms of hospitalizations. So that's a lot. And on COVID protection, I think fourth paragraph talks about cleaning, which is important, but more important from what I've read is ventilation as well as wearing masks. I think initially there was an underestimate of the time that microscopic particles can stay in the air, particularly indoors. And that applies also to buses, so I hope the buses are well ventilated. And then the last question relates to that. Do the health centers provide good masks to the bus operators?
Yeah, we're well equipped with PPE and have been for quite some time. Masks are available, gloves are available, disinfectant if they want to do more than what we have done. Not necessary, but they can do that. And then, of course, you know, the barrier installation was a game changer as far as bus operator safety.
Thanks, Carm.
Thank you, Mark.
Anyone else with any comments, questions? Okay.
Yeah.
So our next meeting of the board is scheduled for Wednesday, December 23rd at 12 noon. Of course, through Microsoft Teams and here at Fuller Room. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.